Welcome to Wrong Time Watch. My name is Kevin, and today we're looking at, actually revisiting the Glycine Combat Sub comparison before and after Invicta. This is actually my third video on this and perhaps my final video. I recently picked up this GL0087. It was on a good sale on the Invicta website, so figured I would just buy it and do a more direct comparison. I don't know what happened here. I set the times to be exact, and I'm going to have to fix that because that's kind of bugging me. So one moment. So yeah, this was on sale, and I figured I'd pick it up and do a more direct comparison. I had a slightly different glycine that I thought was this one, but it was a little different. So anyway, let's get into the video here. Again, this is the GL0087. And the one on the left, just notice something different here. The one on the left is the 3863.196N.D9. So kind of glad they changed the model numbers. This watch on the left was over $1,000 7 years ago. And this one here on the right, I just checked on eBay. You can buy it for $320, which is less than the cost of a microbrand watch. Swiss movement, Swiss made. So I think these watches are great values. So let's just get into dial here. If you look at the one on the left, this is the Glycine Combat Sub. And the one on the right I will call an Invicta Combat Sub. You can see right off the bat the logos are different. The one on the right is the new logo. And I'll show you in a little bit here the old new logo, the in-between logo. So anyway, the one on the left is applied. Also, you can see on the left there is no date window border. The one on the right has that white square. And I'm actually going to have to move the hands to show you the wording at the 6 o'clock position. Let's just move that backwards. Move this one backwards as well. Well, I had them lined up for all of a minute, but anyway, you can see on the left here it says Combat Sub 11, and on the right it says Combat Automatic Sub 20 ATM. Also, you can see the 24-hour, or the 13 to 24 is a different color. Also, the crowns, of course, have different logos. The one on the right is just the outline, and the one on the left is a solid glycine crown. Let's see, what else are on my notes here? Oh, something I thought the hands were the same, but actually, if you look at the watch on the right, the minute hand is slightly longer than the minute hand on the left. The hour and second hand appear to be the same, but they could be very well be different manufacturers. The straps appear to be the same, but if you look at the engraving on the buckles here, the one on the left is actually wider than the one on the right, and the letter, by wider I mean the letters are spread further out on the buckle, but the lettering appears to be a little thinner. Actually, something else I noticed, could just be an optical illusion, but it actually looks like the date is larger on the watch on the right, but it could just be something to do with that boxed in date window. Not really sure, but I think it looks bigger on the right. Obviously, you can see the drilled lugs on the left, which is the Glycine Combat Sub. The case shape is also slightly different. The ends of the lugs are slightly different. This one is, the bottom one is a little more squared off. The one on the top is a little more rounded. Also, you can see the crowns, crown guards, sorry. The one on the bottom, the Invicta, the crown guards are a little thicker up and down. And also I pointed this out in my previous video, but these crown guards on the Glycine Combat Sub are not exactly symmetrical. This one on the, well, it's on the left, but it's the bottom crown guard is a little bit smaller than the one on the top there. Serial number on the Glycine is in between the lugs, and the serial number on the Invicta is on the case back, right there. The engravings on these case backs are the same. Also, both have the gasket on the crown stem. And I think that was all that I noticed between these two. If you guys see any other differences, please put them in the comments. The one thing I did notice at the beginning when I was pressing down on this is this bezel on the Glycine kind of moves up and down. Let's see if I can show you that here on the camera, or up here close. You can see that. So that is interesting. I don't think I've had a watch that the bezel pushes up and down like that before. And this is the Glycine. Yeah, I know they're both Glycines, but for the sake of the video, this one's solid. There is a different sound between these, so I will be quiet for a minute and you can listen. Now let's go to the Invicta takeover version. I don't know if you can hear the difference or not, but the Glycine is a little easier to turn, and this one is a little clunkier. It's a little more solid, I guess. It kind of goes into each click with more of a thump. In both of these are, of course, 60 click bezels. I think I covered the straps are the same, appear to be the same at least. I mean, I can show you here. So this is the old solid filled in logo, and you can see that on this one as well. And the backs appear to be the same. They have this little crown logo on the strap on the back side. I'll show you this one as well. So, and actually I have a bonus here. I have my other Combat Sub, and I'll call this the in-between version, because you can see here it has it was the new logo at the time, and then there was a lawsuit with I believe it was Armani, or I don't know exactly the company, but they have a similar logo with the kind of the wings shape there. I believe it's Armani, but anyway, you can correct me in the comments. But you can see it has the same logo on the crown. And serial number is on the case back on this one, just like the new Invicta version. Interesting thing here, though, well, before I show you the interesting thing, let's see how this bezel is. Okay, so this is the same. I didn't notice that last time. This also pushes up and down like the GL0087. And this one here is the GL0088. Orange is, I guess you can call it my favorite color. So the interesting thing with this one is there is no crown stem gasket like there is on these ones here. So you should be able to see that pretty clearly. It also does have the boxed-in date window just like this one here. That reminds me, there was one more thing I wanted to point out, which I'm just remembering now. You can see the Glycine font under both logos are different as well. The one on my right seems to be a little larger of a font. Also, something I noticed, you may not be able to see, but the Lume pip on this one is slightly off. It's a little further to the right. It's not a big deal, it's just something I noticed. These are all good watches for the money. I will be doing a comparison in the future here. I'm going to compare these to some of my Seikos. I think these are a great bang for the buck. You know, the company was founded in 1914. Well, I guess you wouldn't call it independent anymore since Invicta purchased it, but there's a lot of good history to this brand. Okay, and I wanted to point this out as well. Sorry if I'm going through this too fast. Don't want to drag the video out too long, but you can see the case back engraving is slightly different as well. I was expecting the Invicta version to have the same case back as this, since I've had this one for I think 2 years now. I think I paid $400 for this one on Mass Drop. This one I bought used on eBay just 4 or 5 years ago, maybe even longer than that. I don't exactly remember. But like I said, both of these are now $320 on eBay, so that's a heck of a deal. All right, so with all that, let's I'll give you a wrist shot, and then I will do a Lume video here, a Lume comparison. If you're curious, I'm wearing my Bezel swordfish today. Still waiting on my clasp to arrive. This has this smaller clasp. Actually, I'll show you the issue here. I have a 6.5-inch wrist, so when I size this for my wrist, I don't think I have big hands, but maybe I do compared to my wrist. I don't know, but this is a bear to take on and off. So anyway, let's do a wrist shot. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Let's do the new one. These straps smell real nice, by the way, if you're curious. The Seiko silicone straps do not smell like vanilla like these do. Sorry, a little more difficult with this hang tag. Alright, so there we go. It looks, yeah, kind of big on my 6.5-inch wrist. Diameter on this is 42. Thickness, I believe, is 10.5. Lug to lug, I will measure here in one moment. So there it is, above the bone, below the bone, however you look at it. I guess this would be above the bone. Zoom in. It is a sapphire crystal, but I don't think it has AR on it. Maybe. I don't know. It's very, you really don't need it with the white indices and the white hands with the black dial. Also, this does have aluminum bezel insert, which is fine. So let me take this off wrist, and I will measure the lug to lug. And I'll just verify the other measurements, since I kind of did those by memory. Yep. 42 for the case. Yep. Thickness 10.5. That's a big benefit for this compared to your typical Seiko with the NH35 or NH36. They're usually 12.5 to 13.5 thick. Let's do the lug to lug here. So this one benefit of the Seikos is they usually have a shorter lug to lug. I think my SKX is 46. Sorry, I'm getting off track here. Anyway, just let me grab this real quick and then I'll do a Lume shot. Actually, I might leave this one in for the Lume. This is SKX 171. Alright, I'll be right back with the Lume shot. Alright, so from left to right, on the very far left, we have the GL0088. Then we have the Glycine Combat Sub with the long model number I can't remember. And then to the right, we have the GL0087. And then on the very far right, we have the SKX 171. So as far as the Lume on the glycines, the Glycine Combat Sub, as you can see, the indices have already pretty much died out. And then the Invicta Combat Sub has the better Lume, obviously, and it actually has the better Lume than the watch all the way on the left, which again, the watch on the left is the GL088. And looking at it by eye here, the hands on the GL0087 are actually slightly brighter than the SKX 171, but I would give the overall brightness to the SKX 171. And actually the hands on the watches in the middle are about the same actually. So there you go. There's my third version of comparing these Glycine Combat Subs. You could like, subscribe, comment, and ring the bell. That'd be great. Thank you for watching. Bye.